Society is funny. Not funny in a comedic type of way, but ironic. Society made you feel like if you look a certain type of way, you need to change it. That if you earn a certain weight on the number scale, you need to eat less or exercise even more. We all pretend to be everyone's doctor, and I can't blame us. Everyone's ancestors, whether black, white, or Asian, grew up in villages where they were raised by everyone, not just their parents. But I feel that we have just gotten a little out of control. Don't get me wrong, I love looking at fashion models in the runway magazines just as much as the next person, but often too much of anything could be a bad thing. I spent years hating my self-image, abusing myself because I didn't look like the next size 0 of the year's front page magazine. It's funny because if younger Jan could see herself now, I think she would think real hard about what's happening here. Lots of us, 8 billion people on this earth right now, and we will have change during this act of God. It's something none of us can avoid. But during the pandemic, I developed habits that I never thought I would do. When I lost weight, when I was 13, 14, 16, 18, 19, heck, every year since I was 8, I was focused on my body, my weight. But sitting down all day because I was back with my family and all I had to do was walk with my dog, things changed. The part-time job that I was working at a few months during the pandemic closed down. Before the pandemic, and my university switched to fully online, and I was wondering when would be the next time I would get a job to pay my next upcoming bills. Then I got a job. Part-time job working as a deli worker, which no ex-vegan ever thought they would do. Well, it wasn't really a good job. In fact, it was very stressful, and the staff were really just everyone had a knife up against each other's throat. But I wasn't used to the fast-paced schedule. I quickly started eating more fast food or full meals because I just felt so overwhelmed and so stressed. I felt like I didn't have time to do anything, even to myself, or to even really cook a full-fledged meal that was healthy. I didn't think much of it because with the many times I lost weight before, I never avoided fast food, but just chose fast food rarely. So when I repeatedly spent time eating one burger, fry, and a soda repeatedly, my diet changed. It was my diet came to weight gain. During that time, I didn't like that when I stepped on the scale a few months later, I was 10 pounds heavier, but it was like I couldn't stop. Then came 20 pounds heavier, and then almost 2 years later, close to 90 pounds heavier. Yes, I'm getting help. I'm going to see a dietitian and a psychiatrist for my past negative body image of myself, but I'm just reflecting how awful that some stranger can lie to you, tell you that you're ugly, or that you're too thin or super fat, or all these terrible, awful, ugly words. The stranger goes on about their day or years or whatever, but you're left with the wounds of their words. Everybody always says you shouldn't let people hurt you, and that you should ignore them, but the truth is words can hurt the most. I spent years battling my diet and health for words that were lies. Who tells a child that she's so fat? An 8-year-old child is supposed to be a little chubby. They're babies. At 8 years old, I grew eating disorder and eventually became worse where I could eat myself sick, all because of lies. When I truly lost weight, when I was 13, I loved the attention I got. The fact that people were congratulating me, that I actually made a routine to eat healthy and exercise, and in doing so, I lost 30 pounds. But for me, I feel I felt that I needed to lose weight by a certain deadline, that I must lose weight before a certain period of time, or something bad would happen, or I don't know, the world would go into oblivion. And I became obsessed with being thin, obsessed with losing weight as quickly as I can. In truth, it didn't really work. I tried the calorie counting and the 1,200 calorie diet, and even where I eat 2K a day and try to exercise it all off. So when the pandemic happened, that all changed. I became tired. I stopped caring what was in a donut or a whole carton of ice cream. And yeah, that wasn't bad. It's not bad to eat sweets once in a while, but when you lose hope, you lose hope. It doesn't mean that you are giving up per se. It just means that you're lost and don't know where to start. The pandemic is still here, and yes, it is awful. But during the pandemic, we all have changed. I don't think any of us could have predicted or prevented some things that happen, and even with our bodies. One good thing is that my body has taught me how beautiful everyone is. People are so beautiful. No matter how tall, shorter in stature, no matter how wide or narrow your body is, your soul can be such a beautiful place. So here is a special outlook on life.